The whisper came from behind me. Soft. Close. Certain. It said my name the way only someone familiar would. I turned immediately. No one was there. The church was still full. People were standing, hands raised, voices lifted in worship. But the space behind me was empty. I remember blinking hard, looking again, then scanning both sides of the row. Nothing. For a moment, I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a sound from another seat. Maybe someone calling a similar name. Maybe my mind pulling tricks after a long week. But deep down, it did not feel like that, because I knew what I heard, and I knew how it sounded. Not loud, not dramatic, just clear enough to slip past reason. The kind of whisper that does not ask for attention. The kind that leaves a mark anyway. That evening had started like many others. I left work tired, head heavy, heart heavier. The week had been one of those weeks. Too many bills, too many thoughts, too many quiet disappointments stacked together. Nothing major on its own, but enough to make my spirit feel thin. I had almost skipped service that night. I stood outside the church gate for a while, phone in hand, bag over my shoulder, asking myself if I really had the energy. Usually church gave me peace. Not always answers, but peace. Lately though, even church had felt different. Not because God changed, because I did. I still prayed, still read my Bible, still showed up, but my prayers had become careful, smaller, less expectant. I no longer asked God for big things. Not really. I had learned how disappointment can make a person edit their faith. You still believe, but you stop reaching. That was where I was. Working, serving, smiling, surviving, but quietly pulling my heart back from hope. My life looked stable from the outside. I woke up early, went to work, answered messages, paid bills, checked on family, went to church, came home. Simple, predictable, almost peaceful. But beneath it, something ached. I had been carrying a prayer for months. Not one of those flashy prayers people announce. Not a stage prayer. Not the kind that gets amens. Just a private one. God, show me what to do next. That was all. I had reached a point in life where I could not tell if I was waiting well, or just standing still. Career felt uncertain. Home felt quiet. My friendships had grown thinner. And there were nights I could not tell whether God was silent, or whether I had stopped listening properly. So I kept praying, show me what to do next. No signs came. At least, not the kind I recognized. That night, the church was warm. The lights were soft. The worship team was singing an old song about surrender. People around me were fully in it. Eyes closed, hands open, faces wet with tears. I wanted that kind of release. Instead, I felt numb. I stood there trying to worship honestly, trying not to fake what I did not feel. Then the whisper came. My name. Not shouted, not sung, whispered. I turned so quickly the woman in front of me glanced back. I almost asked if she had said something, but her face showed no sign of it. The aisle behind me was clear. Just the edge of another row. A stack of empty plastic chairs near the wall. No one leaning in. No one smiling. No one there. I faced forward again. My heart had changed rhythm. I could feel it in my chest. That quick, uneven beat fear brings. The worship continued, but now every sound felt sharper. A drum tap, a cough, a shoe against tile, the rustle of clothing. I kept waiting to hear it again. Part of me hoped I would. Part of me did not. Nothing happened. By the time the service ended, I had almost convinced myself to forget it. Almost. I was near the entrance when an older woman stopped me. She was one of the mothers in church. Gentle face, always kind, never dramatic. She touched my arm lightly. I wanted to tell you something, she said. I waited. She looked almost embarrassed. During worship, I felt your name strongly in my spirit. My mouth went dry. She continued. I do not know why, but I felt I should tell you not to rush a decision this week. Everything inside me went still. I had told no one about the decision. Not family, not friends, not even my closest prayer partner, because I had not made it yet. I was considering moving away. A job offer had come 2 days earlier. Different city, better pay, fresh start. On paper, it looked like the answer to everything, but something about it felt unsettled. I had been asking God for direction, Then suddenly this offer appeared. I wanted to believe it was provision, but peace had not followed it. Still, I had nearly decided to accept. And now this woman, who knew nothing, was standing in front of me telling me not to rush. I managed a weak smile, thanked her, walked outside. The night air felt colder than before. I sat in my car for a long time, hands on the steering wheel, engine off, mind racing. Had she overheard something? Impossible. Did someone else know? No. Then why did it feel like my hidden thoughts were being read out gently, piece by piece? When I got home, I could not sleep. I replayed the whisper, then her words, then the job offer. Not to rush a decision this week. That phrase would not leave me. The next morning, I woke with a dull headache, made tea, opened my laptop, stared at the email from the company again. The salary was better. The role sounded cleaner. The city looked brighter in pictures. But peace still was not there. By afternoon, I told myself I was overthinking it. Not every hesitation is spiritual. Sometimes it is just fear. So I decided to be practical. I would pray that night, sleep on it, then reply the next day. Simple. But that night, something else happened. I arrived at church early for midweek prayer. The building was nearly empty. A few people in front. Low music playing. Fans turning overhead. I chose a seat near the middle. Opened my Bible. Tried to settle my mind. Then I saw it. A folded paper on the chair beside me. Not under the seat. Not on the floor. On the chair. I almost ignored it. Church chairs collect random things. Notes. Flyers. Forgotten envelopes. But something about the neat fold made me pick it up. No name on the outside. No markings. Just plain paper. I opened it slowly. One line. Wait where I placed you. I stared at the words. No greeting. No signature. No explanation. Wait where I placed you. I looked around immediately. A few people were praying quietly. A keyboardist was testing chords near the altar. 2 ushers were talking by the door. No one was watching me. I turned the paper over. Nothing. The handwriting was plain, deliberate, not rushed. I should have felt annoyed, or suspicious, or amused. Instead, I felt exposed, because that was exactly what I had been wrestling with. Leave, or stay, move, or remain. Accept the offer, or trust the place where nothing seemed to be changing. I folded the paper and put it in my Bible. Then I did something I had not done honestly in a while. I prayed without editing myself. God, I am tired of guessing. I am tired of calling fear wisdom. I am tired of calling confusion patience. If you are speaking, please do not let me miss it. I sat there after praying, eyes closed, hands trembling slightly. No thunder came, no voice from heaven, no sudden vision, only tears, quiet ones, the kind that arrive when truth touches the exact place you have been hiding. I went home still unsettled, but now it was a different kind of unsettled. Less panic, more awareness. The next day the company called. They wanted my answer by evening. My stomach tightened the moment I saw the number. I stepped outside the office to take the call. Listened politely. Asked for a few more hours. They agreed. The rest of the day dragged. I could not concentrate. Every task felt like background noise. By late afternoon, I went to the restroom and locked myself in a stall. Not because I needed privacy, because I needed honesty. I bowed my head and whispered the only prayer I had left. God, if staying is your will, close this door yourself, because I do not trust my own heart anymore. That evening, I opened my email to respond. Before I could type, another message appeared. Subject line, update regarding position. I clicked immediately. The role had been put on hold. Unexpected internal changes. Hiring paused. No final timeline. I read it twice, then a third time. My hands were cold. Just like that, the decision was gone. No heroic faith required. No dramatic refusal. The door had closed on its own. I should have felt disappointed. Instead, I felt something I had not felt in months. Relief. Not excitement. Not celebration. Relief. As if God had removed a weight I kept trying to carry with uncertain hands. That should have been the end of the story. But it was only the beginning. Because after the job door closed, things at home became stranger. 3 days later, I visited my aunt. She had not been well for months. Nothing life-threatening, but enough to make her weak. Normally, I stopped by after work, brought groceries, checked her medicine, sat with her for a while. That evening, she looked at me strangely when I entered. "Why didn't you answer when I called you yesterday in church?" she asked. I frowned. "I was not in church yesterday." She stared at me. "Yes, you were. I heard you behind me. You said my name twice." My skin went cold. I set the grocery bag down slowly. She continued speaking. I turned around, but no one was there. "I thought maybe you had stepped away." I could not answer, because that was exactly what had happened to me. My name. A whisper. No one there. Now my aunt was describing the same thing. I sat down beside her, asked her to repeat everything carefully. She did. Same pattern. Same quiet certainty. Same empty space afterward. I did not tell her about my own experience immediately. I just listened. Then she said something else. After that, I felt strongly that I should tell you something. I waited. Her eyes softened. "Do not leave yet. Someone near you needs you." The room seemed to narrow around me. Someone near you needs you. That sentence followed me home. And by the next morning, I knew who it was. My younger brother called before sunrise. His voice sounded wrong. Thin. Shaking. Exhausted. He had been hiding a serious debt problem. Months of pressure. Bad decisions. Shame. Silence. He had reached a breaking point. If I had moved, if I had left that week, I would not have been there. Not physically, not emotionally, not in time. For the next several days, life shifted fast. Phone calls, conversations, tears, practical help, hard truth. It was not neat. It was not instant. But it was necessary. And all through it, one realization kept hitting me. God was not only stopping me from leaving, He was keeping me within reach of an assignment I did not know I had. That broke me in the best way, because I had spent months praying, "Show me what to do next." And I assumed the answer would be advancement, movement, opportunity, a better-looking future. But the answer was presence. Stay, listen, be available, hold the line where I placed you. Weeks later, after things stabilized a little, I went back through everything. The whisper in church, the woman with the warning, the folded note, the closed job door, my aunt hearing the same kind of whisper, my brother calling at the exact time he did. None of it looked accidental anymore. Then came the twist I still struggle to explain fully. One Sunday after service, I mentioned the folded note to one of the ushers. Casually, almost jokingly, she looked confused and said the chairs had been newly arranged that day. No papers had been placed on any seat. She knew because she had set that section herself. I showed her the note, still tucked in my Bible. Her face changed. She asked if she could hold it. Then she looked at me very carefully and said, "This looks like your mother's handwriting." My breath caught. My mother had passed 4 years earlier. She used to write short notes everywhere. Inside my school books, on the kitchen counter, near the television, by the mirror before exams. Simple sentences, always simple. And her handwriting had a certain firmness to it. Clean, straight, gentle but certain. I went home shaking, opened an old storage box, found one of her Bibles, turned through the pages until I saw a note she once wrote. Same shape to the letters, same spacing, same way she crossed her T's. I sat on the floor for a long time, speechless. Maybe there is an explanation. Maybe not. I only know what it did to me. It made heaven feel closer than before. Not in a frightening way, in a tender one. As if God knew I would listen more carefully if comfort arrived in a form my heart recognized. That was months ago. I still live in the same city. Still work the same job. Still go to the same church. From the outside, not much looks dramatic. But inside, everything changed. I no longer measure direction only by open doors. I look for peace now. For timing. For the quiet weight of God's hand. And whenever I am tempted to panic because nothing seems to be moving, I remember that whisper. My name, spoken in church, when no one was there. Or maybe someone was there, just not someone I could see. And maybe that is the part we forget too easily. Silence does not mean absence. Stillness does not mean abandonment. Sometimes God moves so gently that fear mistakes it for coincidence. Sometimes He calls your name, before he changes your path. Sometimes he keeps you in place, because love, rescue, or purpose is about to reach for you there. I heard my name whispered in church, but no one was there. At least, no one I could see. If this story reminded you that God still guides quietly, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to this channel, because some whispers are holy, some answers arrive softly, and some stories are still waiting to be told.